Get started. Gabby will keep getting the handouts out. I told Sensei Phil it wasn't going to be enough. Because I knew that you guys were going to pay attention to my thing and show up. That's awesome. Give yourself 2 claps. Okay. We get to start really, really fun. What I want to do is we're going to plan a leadership team trip together. Okay? So, and I want it to be someplace awesome that we're going to go and really get an opportunity to exercise our leadership. We're going to take a road trip. So where will we go? Raise your hand. Tell me someplace we could go. Mackenzie? Logan? Busch Gardens. Okay. Where will we go? Someplace further, more challenging. Where could we go, Jeff?
California.
California. That would be challenging. Melissa? We could go to somewhere in the Middle East that's poor and help them. Wow, spoken like a leadership student. 2 claps. Nico, where can we go?
Disneyland.
Okay, Disneyland. Natalie, where can we go?
You could go to some of the schools who have really bad bullying issues.
Ooh, we could go to schools with bad bullying issues. Good. Where can we go, Bradley?
Climb Mount Everest.
We could climb Mount Everest.
Yeah.
2 really, really good ones so far. Nicole, where can we go? Could go to Mexico. What would we do in Mexico? What would we do in Mexico? Okay, we could go for a bike ride in Mexico. Melissa, if we went and we helped these people, guys, by the way, I really, really appreciate how excited you all are about this topic and how you're talking about where we're going to go. But we're going to make sure we utilize our black belt champion habits and make sure that we're not speaking when other people are speaking. Everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Melissa, if we were going to go to the Middle East and we're going to help these people, how? What kinds of things will we do while we're there?
Well, we could have fundraisers and support money, give them food and shelter.
Food and shelter. Okay, awesome. Madison, what other trip could we do?
I was going to see, like what my church does is sometimes they'll go over there, to wherever, like, the destination, and then they'll, like, help build houses and stuff like that. And then,
Awesome. So we could go build houses. By the way, I would like to ask for one thing. Be excited and put your hand back up. But when somebody is speaking, don't even have your hand up, okay? Because then you're thinking about what you want to say instead of listening to what they're going to say. Everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Bradley.
Go to Alaska.
You go to Alaska. Okay, so you came up with Alaska, and you have one other good one before that too, right? What was it? Mount Everest. I like both of yours because they're like both physically challenging. So they're going to help me with the lesson. Let's talk about it. When we go to Alaska, and Mount Everest, we know what we're going to do. We're going to climb it. We go to Alaska, what are we going to do?
We're going to do a winter survival course.
Winter survival course. So then, let me ask you this, Bradley, and everybody can start helping to answer this now. If we go to Alaska, or to Mount Everest, well, let's use Alaska for the winter survival course. What kind of things are we going to have to pack?
We're going to have to pack a lot of things. Water, food, something to create a fire, shelter.
Okay. What else, Logan?
we're going to have to pack, air too, if we're going to, on Mount Everest, because it's so high that you need more oxygen.
Wow, that's true. Logan's good. Nico, is where we're going cold or hot?
Very cold
Very-
as you get higher.
Very cold. So what else do we got to pack?
Warm clothes.
Jackets.
We got to pack some warm
Very
clothes.
big jackets.
Jackets, good. Natalie?
We're going to pack like really thick sleeping bags or even tents or whatever.
Sleeping bags, tents. Wow, you guys are good. Jared?
2 things, gloves, sir, and business cards, just in case we want to
Love it, my future program director. Give him 2 claps. For those of you watching, he said, we got to make sure we have business cards in case we run into anybody for our UK MMA there. All right, fantastic. So wouldn't you agree that we have to know where we're going and what we're going to do when we get there in order to know what we're going to pack? Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to tell you another suitcase story now. So all eyes on me again. I love the awesome position you're all in with your legs crossed and your hands on your knees and your shoulders back and your chin up and your eyes like. Showing that incredible black belt focus. One time, and this was back when I was in the Army. I was a captain in the Army for those of you guys that didn't know. And for a lot of time that I was a captain in the Army, I had the cool kind of jobs that you guys like where I was out fighting and doing all that kind of stuff that you guys see on the movies and all that. But then later I had the staff job, and my job was to brief generals. So I had to go and give these briefings, and of course I'd be nervous all the time because I'd have to get up like this, but it'd be a general, right? And which means this really high-ranking guy that's going to ask me a lot of questions, and I better know my stuff. But anyway, so I arrive where I'm going, and I pick up my suitcase quick because I'm running late. They got me there late. And I'm flying to this briefing. And when I get to the hotel, guess what happened? It was the wrong suitcase. this suitcase, not only were the clothes way too small, but they were women's clothes. So I'm looking at this, and I'm going, what am I going to do about this problem? I'm beginning to panic a little bit, right? So let me ask you a question. What would you do? What would you do, Logan?
What would I do? What I would do? Well, first I would go to the bank to get some money, of course, and then go to one store, get a new suitcase, and then go to another store and get some new clothes.
Logan is very analytical. He gave every step. Give him 2 claps. What would you do, Nico?
I would be honest and tell
The general.
boss, that I made a mistake and I have to go back and get something, and would ask
If the general could, like, add an extra hour to his schedule, huh?
Yeah.
Obviously, never bring the arm. All right, give him 2 claps. Melissa, what would you do?
well, I would just wear rock the woman's clothing.
You would just wear the woman's clothing. I thought about that. I said, maybe I can fit into these clothes. But then I thought certainly these pants are going to be way too high for stilettos. Now really, here's what happened. In fact, you led me to the next question. Thank you, Melissa. It's almost like you know where we're going. If I had chosen to do that, and I actually went to the meeting in the woman's clothes, what do you think would happen?
Oh.
Allie?
They might think of you a little bit differently.
That was put very softly. Winston?
Get fired.
I might have got fired. Nicole?
And I got laughed at.
Might have got laughed at. Jared?
You might have lost some of your respect.
Well, I might have lost some of my respect. Nico?
You could have been made fun.
I would have been made fun of. Logan?
Maybe whenever he disobey someone or disobey that.
I could have been in big trouble, right? Long story short, I could have been in big trouble. Matthew, one more thing?
People on the way there, when you got out of the car on the way there, people could have called you a rabbi.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Let me just sum it up real quick. Would things have worked out well for me? Would things have worked out well for me if I went to my meeting with the general in the woman's clothing that was 2 sizes too small? Well, a bunch of sizes too small. Would things have worked out well for me?
No.
Stand off, stand off.
No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir.
What if you woke up one day and you found out the same thing had happened with your life? In other words, you went into life with somebody else's suitcase. Now, you don't know exactly what I'm talking about now, but what I'm talking about, what this series is going to be about, so awesome, is about figuring out what you want to be when you grow up so that you can live a life of happiness because you are living your purpose. Because we know for a fact that many, many people are not, and many, many people are not happy because they're doing something other than what they were meant to do. In fact, I have statistics here. We know that unhappiness on the job affects at least 1/4 of the American workforce. We know that 1/4 of employees view their job as the #1 stress in their life. We know that 7 out of 10 people are neither motivated nor competent to perform the basics of their job. We know that 43% of employees feel anger towards their boss, their employer, often or very often as a result of feeling overworked. Yet, work is not only necessary to live, would you agree?
Yes, sir.
Logan, you are on it, buddy. Give Logan 2 claps. But work is God ordained. God said, work 6 days and rest on the 7th. And everybody loves to focus on the rest part. Nobody focuses on the fact he said work 6. So wouldn't you think, seriously, that if you're going to work 5 or 6 days out of your life, that it would be important to find out what you like to do, what you are good at, and what you're meant to do? You think so?
Yes, sir.
That's what this is going to be all about. Who knows what this is? Bradley.
I can't remember the guy's name, but it's sculpture.
It is a sculpture. Anybody know what the sculpture's called? The Thinker. Do you know who did it?
No.
I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but it's the great Rodin. Rodin or Rodin. I don't know if somebody says. Rodin, is that the right way? I don't know. But anyway, he did this sculpture called The Thinker. So let's just call him the artist for the rest of this. Let's imagine that the artist is creating the thinker. He starts with this big block, right? It's a big block of rock. And what does he do? Jared?
He starts he gets his tools and he starts to get ready to start chiseling away and he starts mapping things out.
Yeah, he starts chiseling away. And as he chisels away a chunk of stone. He forms the face. He forms the knee. He's chiseling stuff away to form the sculpture. Now envision God doing the same thing with you before you even were. Did the sculptor, here's my question, this sculptor that did this thing, did he know what he meant the thinker to look like when he was finished? Did he know what the thinker was going to be like? Yeah, he did. He started with a vision in mind. That's what a sculptor does. He starts with a vision, and then he chips away to create the sculpture. Yes, Tico.
I think he was inspired to make the way the sculpture was made when he probably took that position when he was thinking about how he was going to make what he was going to sculpt in the first place.
Okay, good. Logan?
Like maybe they made the sculpture because he needed to help like give your answers in life, and maybe because it could help you.
I tell you, I love the sculpture anyway. I use it for other things. I used to say in one of my other presentations, I used to go like this. I used to go, what's this guy's name? No, this guy.
Thinker.
Nobody knows his name because he's always thinking. He never does anything. But that's a whole nother lesson. The lesson today is that the sculptor had a vision in mind for this piece of rock. Okay? So my question is, what's in your suitcase? Can an acorn become a rose? Can a well fly like a bird? Can a tree teach Krav Maga? No. No. But listen, guys, we can argue whether or not, you can be anything you want to be. Because it's a popular notion that you can do anything you want to do. And we throw the term around loosely. And I can argue on either side of that. So let's say maybe you can, maybe you can't. But even if you could, wouldn't it even be better to be who you're supposed to be? To be what you were born to be? Be what you were meant to be? I can tell you, and I don't want to jump too far ahead because every week we're going to be covering a different part of this lesson. But I got to tell you, I'm blessed because I get to do what I'm meant to do for a living. I didn't get this lesson when I was your age. But I did already know that I love martial arts. I did already know that I love teaching. There were certain things that I already knew. And, then I spent most of my life in the military. And then one day I was blessed to be able to do this. But that's not the point of the lesson. The point of the lesson is when I started studying this subject, I still had some big paradigm shifts. Who remembers what a paradigm shift is? Anybody remember? Gabby?
Like a change of perspective.
A change of perspective. Give her 2 claps. So in other words, there were certain things I thought about the world that changed as a result of this study that I prepared for you. And one was the way I raised my kids. And by the way, it's going to be in week 4 of the lesson. Because week 4 of the lesson is helping other people live their purpose. But, a lot of us think that it's our job. We take that verse that says, raise up a child in the way he should go. And we think that means that we're putting everything in. Now, I, of course, still believe that, of course, we got to work with them on focus and discipline and concentration and self-control and things like that. That maybe part of my job is to figure out what's already in there. What he was created to do. Right? And what he was created to do. And what he was created to do. Because it might not be the same thing, and it might not be teaching karate or Krav Maga. Right? Now, there's probably some people in this room that do have that calling. May or may not be my own kids. The important part is that we figure it out. Do you guys understand?